Police are searching for a suspect after a man was shot in the Jacobs neighborhood. It happened just before 7:30 last night on Manslick Road near 7th Street. Officers found a man with several gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Anyone with information should call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD.
After fast-tracking Governor Andy Beshear's disaster declaration, the Trump administration is getting a sense of the damage from recent flooding in Kentucky.
The governor hosted new Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem in Frankfort, and WHAS11's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Emma Gefter were there as she met with FEMA officials to discuss the recovery efforts.
How are you guys? Thanks for coming.
The new United States Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, entering the Kentucky Emergency Management Center in Frankfort, debriefing with FEMA officials after touring the devastation in Perry and Knott counties from a U.S. Coast Guard helicopter.
As low as we could get, we did not have a chance to get on the ground because the trip is so quick.
FEMA thanking Noem's team and President Trump's administration for their quick response to the overwhelming damage.
About 2,300 Kentuckians remain without drinking water or power of water.
This map shows the many counties suffering from the flood, most of them in the eastern part of the state. Nearly 300 people are staying in Kentucky state parks. Governor Andy Beshear shared an update separately from Noem, confirmed 23 Kentuckians lost their life, and says the floods of July 2022 are still the worst.
We learned a lot in 2022. Our goal is to make this the easiest process it can be on people who've gone through a lot. Once you've been traumatized by a natural disaster, you don't need to be traumatized by the process after which.
The governor also thanking the Trump administration and Noem's immediate response to the bluegrass state.
There was zero politics played in any of this. They turned it around. They did their jobs, and I'm grateful.
As the secretary shakes the hands within the emergency center, she's leaving with a message to Kentuckians that they're not alone and will continue aid through emergency centers. At the state capitol, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Governor Beshear says the administration is working to set up disaster recovery centers by this weekend. The governor also says they've raised enough money through the Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund to pay for the funerals of all of the flood victims. So far, that fund has raised more than $400,000. And if you would like to donate, we do have a link to do that in this story on WHAS11.com.
People are working hard to tear down the institutions around public education. It is really clear.
In his final State of the District address, JCPS Superintendent Marty Pollio called out both state and federal lawmakers, saying they're attacking public schools. Pollio addressed concerns for the future of public education, including staffing shortages and pushes by some lawmakers for changes that would affect JCPS. One aims to create a path for incorporated cities to launch independent school districts, potentially separating from JCPS. Cities with at least 5,000 people like J-Town, Middletown, Shively, and Douglas Hills would qualify. Another bill would allow the Kentucky Department of Education to take control of individual underperforming schools and to fire teachers and principals.
I would be really concerned about who is going to, it's already a challenge to staff these schools. I'm not sure that's a well thought out plan.
Pollio said he's also concerned about pending slashes to federal spending, an effort led by House Republicans. He believes that would particularly hurt high poverty districts like JCPS. In his address, Pollio also reflected on his nearly 3 decades with the school district. He highlighted several initiatives for improvement, like the expansion of the academies of Louisville and middle school Explore pathways, creating a choice zone for students to attend school closer to home, and a fully staffed police department for JCPS, as well as the deployment of school nurses and mental health practitioners.
A plea deal could be in the works for Misty Knoll. Knoll, the estranged wife of imprisoned and former Southern Indiana Sheriff Jamie Knoll, and the final member of the family to learn her punishment. During a virtual court session, her attorney, Bart McMahon, said they plan to resolve the case on May 21st. That is around the same time that Misty's and Jamie's daughter, Casey, is expected to get out of jail after serving 4.5 months. The attorney said that Casey Knoll is pregnant, and it'd be nice for Misty and Casey to get to see each other before they resolve Misty's matter. But Judge Larry Medlock did let them know they're running out of time.
On 5/21, it is final pretrial conference date, and if there's no resolution, I will expect that you will have preliminary jury instructions.
As of now, Misty's jury trial is set for June 2nd. She is accused of stealing or spending over $600,000 of stolen money from the firefighters' fund on personal items like travel, makeup, shopping, and her daughter's college tuition. She has pleaded not guilty.
A Hardin County student is facing charges after playing a joke that put a school on lockdown. According to officials at North Hardin High School, it happened just after 10 yesterday when a student was reported to have a weapon. The lockdown was lifted within 15 minutes and a student detained. Investigators say that student, quote, thought they were playing a joke and did not actually have a weapon. Officials say the student will face charges and be punished according to the law and school district guidelines.
Mayor Craig Greenberg will host the grand reopening of the historic Parkland Library today. The 116-year-old library recently underwent a $6.5 million renovation and expansion. Community leaders, officials from the Library Foundation, and former Card and NBA star Dr. Duncanstein Griffith will be at today's event. It's set to kick off at 10:30.